I've got my bushing kit from Resto Parts laid out here. Unfortunately, all I bought was a bushing kit. I didn't buy the hardware kit. So I'll just go buy the hardware separately. Shouldn't be that big of a deal. I'll know what hardware I need once I get it apart. I'm sure there might even be a parts list somewhere I can probably get and pick up. But anyway, the box comes with this diagram right in the bottom. So don't misplace it or lose it. I looked online, I couldn't find one, and then I realized I had it all along. So it lays it out. The numbers are right on the parts. For some reason, I got an extra 2 of these number C's, letter C's. So I'm not sure what those go, why I got 2 extras, because I should have one set. The 2 inner ones on the firewall are only used on big block and convertibles, although mine looks like it has some in there, so maybe someone cobbled something in there. But I should have 1, 2, 3 sets, 4, 5, 6, 7. Since my kit didn't come with hardware, I was going to take 1 bolt out of each one on this side and go get the new bolts. But I ran into a problem on the very first one. I was looking at the core support here, and the washer pulled right through. I loosened it up, and I've been playing around with it. It'll fall back through again here if I keep playing with it. But so I'm just going to have to get a piece of metal for both sides just to put under here. Otherwise, the core support's in pretty good shape, but that spot must have held a little bit of moisture. So that's the first challenge so far I found with doing the replacing these body bushings. So we'll go one by one here. On the core support, obviously I have to do one at a time, otherwise the bumper will fall right off. So I'm going to get this one out. Like I say, I wanted to find out what length the bolts were so I could get new bolts and washers and everything. But yeah, that's a little problematic. I'll have to fix that. Not a big deal. If you take the front valance off, then that bolt is a lot easier to get to. And obviously it's supposed to be a captured nut, and yeah, well, whatever bracket or whatever it was on, it's spinning loose. So I'm going to reach in there, get that out of there, and then we'll be done with the core support on this side. The wrench wasn't working, so I ended up getting it out of there with the Sawzall. I did have to have the valance off in order to get all the pieces out of there, so all good. So the valance is off. It's sitting up on the bumper there because I've got a wire that I don't have a connector for. You can see my blue wall is up. I put that up every winter so the first stall can go in and out without letting all the heat out of the garage. So anyway, back to working on getting the rest of these mounts out. That one's pretty straightforward on its location. The other ones I'll try to show a little more detail as I'm going. So the next one I'm going to take out is this one. There should not be a mount over here, but it looks like there is. So I'll see if I have to buy that separately because it did not come in my kit. So let me go ahead and at least get the bolt out if nothing else. Like I say, I want to get the bolts out all the way along so I can go buy new bolts because I don't have any hardware for my kit. I'm really sorry I wasn't filming that. So I got in here. The car is blocked in the back but not in the front, so I gotta get a board in front of the tire over there. So when I was pulling it, the car was moving. But I had this 1-inch wrench in here on the bolt. And yeah, just a little rusty. The bolt snapped clear off. So yeah, I have a feeling that's gonna be pretty much par for the course all the way down. All right, let's go to the next one, the next one on down the line. Wow. Yeah, she was rusted all the way, snapped clean off. I put a little penetrating oil on there, but yeah, when there's nothing left of the bolt, that's what she does. So the second one here is about halfway down the door, not quite. There's a hole in the frame to get on there. You can feel up around the back side of it and feel that there's a body bushing there. Let's go put the wrench in here real quick and see how loose that is. I probably should have hit these all with some penetrant, but as rusty as they are, yeah, she's not going anywhere without some force. So, all right, let me get my breaker bar. Oh, it's right here. Let's try this. Penetrant or no penetrant, either way, it's going to be stuck. I did put a board behind the tire, or in front of the tire. Okay. Oh, she didn't snap off. Okay. That's different. Capture nut, as long as I don't go the wrong way, seems to be catching, so that's why I got my finger on here. It's bound against something or something. It's working, that's all I care. Oh, I got it! Well, mine had a bolt. See, someone's been playing around. They got them backwards. So this one was supposed to be a solid mount with no bolt, and they had a bolt in it. This one back here is a solid mount without a bolt, but it should have a bolt in it. So there's one right here, right by the back side of the rear wheel well, and then the other one is right where the beginning of the rear bumper starts. So these should come out. If any luck, these will come out pretty easily, or not. Oh, come on, baby. But I think I hear it spinning. Alright, so I got that bolt out. I don't know what else I did differently. All of a sudden it started coming loose. So all the bolts are out now. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, except all I'm going to do is loosen them up so that when I jack this side up, it doesn't, bend them. Then I'll install the ones on this side. I'll install them loose. Then you can take the ones on the other side out completely and get them out of there. Well, I've got it under a frame brace, basically where the seats are, and for some reason the front tire is off the ground. Nothing appears to be attached anymore, so I'm not sure what's going on. Trying to get this front mount out of here. Got the inside one out, so they did have a solid puck in on the inside over there. How strong is a parking brake cable? Well, apparently strong enough to lift up the front of the car. That's what was hanging up. I did manage to pound that other body mount out of there, but I'm going to take that cable loose so I can get this thing up on 4x4s. Alright, so I'm going to set the camera back here. I don't know if you'll get to see anything other than maybe me struggling, but I'm going to work on that and I'll be back. There we go. Wish you could see what I was doing. Oh, well, she went flying somewhere. I'll have to find her later. Okay, so anyhow, there's probably a little tension on this cable because I got the car jacked up some. Wanted a little tension on it, but it needs to go back through the hole. it's a kind of a tight fit. So I went online and was reading a little bit about this. If you've done some coating or anything to your frame, this piece probably won't fit through here, so keep that in mind. So if you do any modifications to it, like I say, with the frame, you might run into problems. Get powder coated, etc. You might run into problems getting that cable through there. Some guys said they had to, you know, clean it out, whatnot. Alright, so I went solid mount, bolted mount on that one. Solid. Did I go bolted here too? Where did I go? Yeah, I did a bolted mount down here also. And then up under the wheel well, the solid one on the top of the axle back there, right there. And then 2 bolted ones back here. So I think I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna work on getting the bolts started. Actually, I'm gonna let it down a little bit, and then I'm gonna work on getting the bolts started, and hopefully everything still kind of lines up. Because I did take all the bolts out of the other side. Well, I hadn't planned on it, but they just snapped. And I was going to jack it up 4 inches off the frame, but I was able to get enough of it clean the way it is. I'll kind of do the same thing on the other side, but I want to get a couple bolts in first. Alright, I've done a couple of them already, to be honest. I was trying to get a technique down here. So, put the washer on here, the bolt, and this rubber piece, slide it up through the hole in the frame. Well, what I've been doing, I am having the hardest time getting footage today. Battery went dead on that one. Okay, so this one here, really not going to be able to see much other than I do have everything balanced on here. Shove it up through there. And this one does not have a captured nut. So I have to put I'm going to put a washer and a lock nut on this. Okay, just a couple of turns and then I'll put a wrench on it. There. Oh, hallelujah. Alright, let me show you what that actually looks like now. If I can get the camera in here. So, she's down in there. The one on the other side, I went ahead and did a solid mount. That should stay because this will be pulling the pressure down on it. So we should be good. Oh my gosh. Alright, let me show you what I've actually ended up with. So these are the radiator support bushings. I haven't put one on either side yet. This is that solid mount that goes in for the big block cars and whatnot. I just did it because my other 2 middle ones, instead of being a solid, there was actually capture nuts in there. So I went ahead and put two more of them that actually bolted in there. Right or wrong, they're going to be bolted down and solid. Then I had, so this one goes with this one. Then I put these 2 in. And actually this one's mixed up with this. So then I had, so all 3 of these were the same in a row. Then this is the one that goes above the axle. Then I had these 2 in the back. Alright, so for the core support, if you remember right, I'm pretty sure I told you that had a hole in the bottom down there. So what I did is I made a steel plate just like this one, made it 8 inches long, drilled the hole in. It ends up being a little bit not quite on center, so I could have a little bit hanging out each side. And then I'm just going to self-tapping screw that plate to the core support. But in the meantime, it's already bolted up in. All I did was I drilled a hole big enough for the bolt, and then ran her together that way. So that should work. And then I was able to fish a nut down in there. And then I used the old nut, the old capture thing. I used that as the washer down in there because it was pretty easy to get down in there. So that should work as a core support. I'll draw that up tight and I'll take the bounce out of it at least and give it a little bit of cushion that it needs. Alright, so I got the other side finished. I just remembered I got to do that parking brake. Who knew that that thing could lift part of the car? Anyway, I got to go find that clip. That went flying earlier. Thanks for everybody for following along. Appreciate any comments, criticisms. If you have questions about what I did, why I did it, be glad to answer it. This kit, like I said, I kind of wish I'd have bought a kit that had the hardware with it, but it is what it is. Turns out one of the ones in the back had a different size anyway, so I don't know if the kit that the hardware comes with would have a different size bolt for that. So the very last one on the bumper is a different size, but who knows? This car's been mishmashed together. It did have a rear end collision at one point, so that might have been completely replaced. Thanks again. Follow along, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm still trying to grow the channel. Maybe I'll try to get to do some collaborations, maybe with some other Pontiac enthusiasts, just old car enthusiasts, whatever the case may be. But we're inching along day by day. I'm not in a hurry. I have till spring to get this done, but I want to address a lot of this little stuff that needs to get done. Thanks again. Have a great day.